All right, so we are back with another live stream. I am so happy to have you guys. Tiz Official joined us before our live stream even went live. But I thank you for joining us and setting that reminder and for letting me know. That is awesome. I love when you guys set the reminders. Make sure that if you have not already, you go down there and you hit subscribe, because that will get you entered into our 400 subscriber giveaway. That 400 subscriber that 400 subscriber giveaway video is going to go live on Saturday. I actually just made it. I've got the GoPro right here. I was making it earlier. You know how it is. We got to make sure that we get everything in order. And I'm so happy that we're even approaching 400 subscribers. When I made this banner, it was 370 we had just hit. So thank you everyone who helped us hit that. We were at 310 days ago when I did my other video. So we've hit about 60 subscribers in those 2 days. And I'm just so psyched to have you guys join the channel and subscribe to us. As always, make sure that you go down and you hit that little like button right there. You could be a hater and hit the thumbs down. I honestly don't care which one you hit, but smash that thumbs up if you feel so inclined. Alrighty, we are actually at 6 thumbs up on this video already. So that is awesome. I am so happy to have all of you guys who are watching with us, and let's get into it. But before we do, you know what we got to do. And I still have not made a new video with our new logo. We're working on that, but here we go.
The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Earth's mightiest heroes.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Alrighty. So I don't have my books for this week. I only had 3 in my pull list this week. 2 of them were King and Black variants, and the other one was Thor 12. There are some I'm going to pick up that I talked about in my Monday video. If you want to go check that out, wait till after the live stream. So don't miss a thing as I get into talking about CGC versus CBCS. Before we do anything to continue talking about that, I want to give a quick shout out to Great for Comics. You have been with us for the past 2 live streams now. Thank you for sticking with it. It's been amazing. Glad you could join us once again. So, with all that being said, let's start talking about what is going down on the channel. Like I said, we are almost at 400 subscribers. That means that I'm pulling out this box. This box holds about 10 comics. So I'm filling it. I'm going to sit there and go through some books, figure out what I want to put in it. Marvel, DC, there might be a few first issues, definitely some first print books, and maybe even a first appearance of a character. Could be a key, could be a minor key, who knows? We'll get into that very soon. This is the box that all 10 of those comics will be going into, and then I'm literally packing this into a priority mailer and shipping it off to you, whoever ends up winning it. I cannot wait to see who wins it, but in order to give this away, we have to get 30 more subscribers. Make sure that you go and do that. All right. Let's see who else is watching. Cray, I will get into that in a second, dude. Or girl, I don't know. Not sure exactly who you are. You've just been a fan of the channel a while, so I recognize the name. Maybe it's Lecrae. Cray. I don't know. It is what it is. But anyways, let's continue to talk about all things Marvel, CGC, CBCS, MCU, pretty much everything in comics that we hold near and dear has an acronym. DCEU. Arrowverse doesn't, but is what it is. I'm not going to go there because that's not where we are today. while we're talking about CGC, let's talk about our 500 subscriber giveaway. Our 500 subscriber giveaway is going to be this, in addition to anything else that someone might or that something might pop up or whatnot. So this is a 9.6 version, rated copy, variant edition, the 1600s variant, cover B, Ruins of Ravencroft Carnage. This is the first appearance of Cortland Cassidy and Plague before he was Plague. So just like there's Amazing Spider-Man 344 from before Cletus Cassidy, didn't want to screw that one up. Before Cletus Cassidy was Carnage in Amazing Spider-Man 344, he did make an appearance, and we got to see him as Carnage later on in Amazing Spider-Man 361. With all of that being said, here is the first appearance of Plague. So that could be one of our giveaways. You never know, 400 or 500 subscribers. Again, make sure that you go hit that subscribe button. It is located right down here. You just need to hit that subscribe button right there, and that will get you entered. Also, do not forget, if you hit that subscribe button, you also need to hit the little bell. It goes ding when you hit it. No, it doesn't really, but you get what I mean. Anyways, let's continue to talk about some comics. What we are going to be doing from here on out is talking about CGC versus CBCS. This is not going to be one of my typical hour live streams. We're going to talk about this and get into it. Before I get any further into it, I do want to show off the poll of what you guys said before I went live. So I put this up, let's see, it was 17 hours ago. So it is almost done and over with. But you guys said, without a shadow of doubt, sorry, it's going to kind of hard to see that, 62 to 38% CGC versus CBCS. So basically what that means for us is a lot of you guys prefer CGC over CBCS. Now I'm going to get into what I prefer and why. So I basically broke this down into 3 points. First things first, I'm not going to say who I like the best at the start. A lot of people jump right into that. I don't believe in doing that. I like to talk about the comics, or I like to talk about what made it the way it is first, why I think it is what it is, and then it might actually shock you which one I end up going with. So first off, I look at the casing, the initial just overall look of what the case looks like, the thickness of it, and then also the clearness of it, and the overall design of it. So the one thing that I really like about CGC is it has this little divot up here. Now, CBCS does not have that. In the CBCS books, or not books, slabs, it's all flat on the back. This whole thing is completely 100% flat. There's no little divot here. I can't stick my finger in any farther than there. You can see that there is a space there, but you can also tell that there's a difference because here it contours back in there. And over on this one, it's actually, if you look right in this corner, you can see, sorry, I know there's some glare. You can see that this is actually holding that blue strip in place. So right off the bat, CGC is easier to hang up if you focus on that portion. Obviously, I don't have that problem. So no matter how many times I do this, I'm never going to learn which way to turn. I'm always going to think, oh, I want to get out of the picture that way. See, still don't know. I want to get out of the picture that way. I'm going to turn the way that I'm pointing, but it gets myself in the way. So I don't really have the problem of needing to hang them up right now because I have them stacked up on the shelves that I made. One of the reasons I did that was so that you could support a CGC book on each shelf. So there's just enough space in there for them to go in, not touch the top. And of course, up here, there's enough space to fit about 3. The one in the middle, the Venom 4, actually overlapping a little bit, but it is what it is. And then you have these right here. And then the ones that were down here, I have with me to show off. So a lot of people ask me, why did you get the same book in 2 different slabs? Well, first of all, this is a really awesome book. I love Reverse Flash. It's one of my favorites. And I needed to compare CGC to CBCS. The only way that I could think of doing that fairly is by putting the same book in there, because then I'm not judging based on what book is inside of it. I'm judging based on just purely plastic. The second grading scale, so first grading scale, CGC wins out. Their slab is slightly thicker. I don't know if you guys can see that in the video. CGC slab is slightly thicker than CBCS's. Not my hugest concern. I definitely like the way that this kind of hangs up if you wanted it to. The one nice thing, though, about this, I use a lot of command strips. So I could easily fix a command strip right here, put one on this side, one on facing the wall, and do the Velcro command strip facing this. Now, I don't know how that would affect plastic layout and whatnot. I wouldn't want it to ruin the slab. Obviously, you're never going to see that because you're usually looking at this side. But God forbid I ever went to sell this book, that would be one of the things that someone would be like, wow, that's a great 9.8, but the plastic isn't where it should be. It shouldn't look like that. The one thing, or the next thing that I'm going to get into about CGC and CBCS is the fact that you get all of this up here. So before I say anything further, there are 4 different types of tags that you can get with CGC. There's also different versions of everything. So you have a green label, which is a qualified label. You have this blue label, which is the universal grade. You have a gold label, which is a signature, any book that was signed or remarked that has a witnessed signature. And then you have a restored, a purple. So there's blue, green, yellow, and purple. Those are the 4 different ways that CGC and I believe CBCS, I've never actually seen yes gold one. I'm sure they do it though. I almost know for a fact that they do. But I'm not going to say that they do because I don't know 100%. The thing I like this blue label is that it breaks it down. So this ebook, this was printed in May of 2020. It's a Planet Awesome exclusive C. So with this one, and I'll compare them in a minute, it's a little bit different. It says a little bit different stuff, but the cover Boss Logic. The art is by Rafa Sandoval, Steven Segovia, Riley Rosmo, and Scott Collins. The story is by Joshua Williamson, Jeff Johns, Francis Manapool. And then it actually lists, and this is the thing I like about CBCS a little bit more than CGC, is it lists who made an appearance. CGC doesn't do that. It lists when it's a first appearance or when it's a key or a cameo, but you're not going to see that same thing from C. So this actually tells us that Paradox, Godspeed, Captain Cold, and Teen Titans made an appearance. And I'll show that to you guys real quick. It also says 9 white pages, Flash 750. I do like this shield over the CGC sticker. I will say that. But that is actually the only place where I like the sticker, right? That I like it not having a sticker versus having a sticker. I like on the CGC panel that it has this 9.8 white pages sticker that goes for any of those CGC books, whether it's my 8 Nova 1, the 9.6 Venom, or my 9.8 Thor 5. It's got a white label with the grade and the page quality. But like I said, this is a little bit different. So it's not the Planet Awesome exclusive C as it said on CBCS. It breaks it down right here. Flash 750, DC Comics, May of 20, Planet Awesome Virgin Edition. And then it says Virgin cover. And then over here it says Boss Lock cover. So obviously it's a little bit different. Planet Awesome and Boss Logic were the people who did this cover. Obviously it doesn't change the cover one way or the other, but that's just the way it ends up working out. The one thing to note with CGC and CBCS on their labels is also right here. So this is CBCS. The whole thing is blue and dark blue. And it says CBCS Flash 750 9.8 Planet Awesome exclusive C CBCS. This one is blue to white. So it has the CGC logo, Flash 750 9.8 Planet Awesome Virgin Edition, CGC. So I do like that this one actually has their name and their logo. So that coupled with the backing was definitely something that drew me to them. Definitely something that was interesting. Legion, there will be no spoilers. I will say that. No spoilers on King of Black. I'm not even going to get into it. Pretty much, I don't want to say anything. I'm not sure if the King of Black stuff is what you're talking about. But there are going to be no spoilers in this. That's why I actually, even if I would have been at the comic shop like I was planning to do, this would have been totally different. Wouldn't have been able to because one of the books that I got is actually the God of Light spoiler edition. So that kind of swayed me to not go pick it up yet. I knew that if I read it and then told you guys, I'd be giving it away. Already, without even looking at anything, I think that we were completely off. I don't think it's going to be a character. I think it's going to be an entity. I'm not quite sure how it's all going to play out, what's going to go on from there, but there's something about the way that everything was going on that I wanted to kind of steer away from actually what my thumbnail was. So this is what Legion's talking about. Your thumbnail made me think you were talking King of Black 4. I definitely was, without giving away spoilers. I can say this. Dylan is going to be the main person in this book. I know that for a fact. I did actually read the book, technically. I didn't read the whole thing because obviously I didn't want to find out yet. But basically, from what I can tell, is the God of Light is going to be an entity and not a character. And it's going to be an entity that kind of takes, not control, but it's hard to say without giving away anything else than that. I was looking through the book this morning on, I can't think of the name right now, Marvel. What is Marvel's thing? Marvel Unlimited. I was looking through it this morning to kind of see if I wanted to go pick up the book beforehand or not. I chose not to. That was just my choice. But yeah, let's get back into talking about these. So last thing I look at, so I talked about the case itself, this right here, and then last thing I look at is just the way that the book is actually shown off. Now, if I hold these right next to each other, they are almost identical. Now, my one issue with CGC is the fact that they take up a lot of space with the label on top. CBCS has a very, very fine label. And again, if I hold them up right next to each other, trying to make them as smooth as possible. It's a hair bigger, and obviously the comic book doesn't change its size. And somehow the slabs are still the same size. They're still the same height, as you guys can see. Slightly different thickness. It just kind of is what it is. I definitely think that no matter who I go with, I would continue to go with either, because I know that the grading is going to be there. I know that I'm looking to get similar stuff out of them. The one thing that I don't like about CGC, they don't give graders notes for anything above a 9. They just don't. As far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, if you're still listening, CBCS gives out graders notes for every single book, which is one thing that I like. And you also don't need to pay for the graders notes, I think, is another thing that I've heard before. I never went and checked the graders notes on this simply because it's a 9.8. To get it any higher than that, I don't even know what I would do besides kiss the butt of whoever's grading it to get it to a 9.9 or a 10. I mean, that's pretty much it. But honestly, it's one of those things where I don't really want to split hairs on, but for this, I kind of need to. It's one of those, it's okay. I don't want to pick between them, but I'm going to. And oh, pucker up. Whew. Okay. Where was I? I don't want to have to pick between them, but if I had to, simply because I like the way that the book is kind of shown off a little bit more. It's a little higher up. As you can kind of see, the book seems more presented in the CBCS slab. You always, correct me if I'm wrong, you always get grader notes. I would go with CBCS. A lot of people tell you otherwise. They have changed in the past 6 months. So that's another thing. If you go and you look at an article about CBCS versus CGC, take a look about when that article was made. These slabs are new. I think they just started when our channel actually started. So maybe that's why I'm going with them. I'm not quite sure. But it is what it is, I guess. It's one of those things where it's hard to pick between your children. If I had to pick between keeping that Venom 27 or that Nova or that Venom 4, I don't know which one I would get rid of. But it's interesting, to say the least. My biggest thing, and the thing that I really want you guys to hear on, and the thing that we kind of need to focus on as a community, why does this get more money? I just showed you that the slabs are pretty much the same. The grades are pretty the same. It's a little bit different when they get it down into the lower grades. I know that. I'm not talking about that right now. That's not the point of this argument. Like I said, the lowest grade I have is an 8.0. And it's a book from 1970, 1976. So older than I am by quite a bit. And it's an 8.0. I mean, I really can't complain. I don't know that I would ever try to look up the grader notes on it to see if I can get it to go higher. I don't know that I would ever do that. Pretty much the one thing to focus on is that when a CGC grade is probably about a 9.8, 9.6, 9.4, the CBCS grade is probably going to be about the same. And yet we still tend as a community to look up, to belittle this book or slab, to belittle this right here. See, I did it again, that whole mirror thing. Thought it was here. It's not. It's over here. We read from left to right, even though I'm looking at it from, it is. Mark, we're never going to get used to this whole mirror thing. It's just not going to be there. But anyways, whether you're looking at this book to check it out, to see what it's all about, it is what it is. At the end of the day, this is what we get into. This is why I collected this book twice. I love the cover. I love the back. And honestly, I guess it comes down to this. If I have to crack open, there we go. If I have to crack open one of these slabs to read this book, I think I'm cracking open the CGC. And here's why. I would crack open the CGC simply because I can't choose. I don't know that I love the CGC slabs. I own way more CGC slabs than I do CBCS. I have sent 2 books off to CBCS. Both of them have came back at 9.8s, which they full well should have. The one never was even opened, that Venom 27. And this book is literally a trade paperback version of a comic book because of how thick it is. It genuinely, I don't know which one I would crack open to read. I think I would read the CBCS one, but I'm still holding this. Part of me says I would probably open the CGC one, and I'm actually even thinking about raffling this one off for maybe even a charity or something. I don't know. Something about this CBCS slab, even on the Venom 27 cover, speaks to me. I like them just a little bit more when it comes to their grading, I don't know. I've never sent off a book that I've ever thought was lower than an 8.0, and I actually got that 8.0 in an auction, so I can't even tell you what it looked like before. If it's cleaned or pressed, I don't know. When everything is said and done, I honestly feel like I would keep this slab in my collection first. And I mean, tell me your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Obviously, I'm going against the grain here, and it's one of those things that I'm okay going against the grain because it's personal preference. I think that I would always lean to my LCS owner when I'm asking him, where would you send it? Obviously, if it's a lower grade book, I'd probably send it off to CGC, simply because I know that they tend to be more lenient on lower grades. They tend to bump up the grade a little bit more from what I've heard. Fredonia Blue Devils 79 says CGC all day. But yeah, I think it kind of is what it is at the end of the day, right? We end up doing what we do. We talk about what we talk about, and then from there, we kind of figure things out and see where to go. Next up on Friday at 3 p.m., we will be doing another live stream to talk about the King in Black. That will be our true live stream where we're going to go over what actually happened in King in Black #4. I'm going to reveal to you, if you haven't already read it, there will be spoilers. I will be saying who the God of Light is, or even what the God of Light is, if my hunch is correct, that the God of Light is not a who, but a what. And then from there, kind of talk more to the fact that our comics are what they are, the grades are what they are, and the gradings are what they are. At the end of the day, I feel like I've kind of ended on a bombshell, the same way the Top Gear does, simply because it's one of those things where you could go either way. Thanks for lounging with us. Have a great day.